And we love Carmel, we love the parks, but this issue just needs to be addressed. It's a safety issue.
At least 2 kids hurt while slipping and falling at a local splash pad. What the parents want to be done. And tonight, we are getting answers.
Brand new details coming in after thousands of fetal remains were found at the Illinois home of a former Indiana abortion doctor. For the first time, we hear from police about the case.
A recent dry stretch leading to drought conditions across portions of central Indiana when we'll finally get in on some needed rain.
More money is on the way to fix Indianapolis roads. The mistake made that prevented the money from coming in all along.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Tonight, we zero in on a slippery and potentially dangerous situation brought to our attention by a couple of moms in Hamilton County. They're hoping the Parks Department makes a move before someone else's child is also severely hurt.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade spoke to both mothers and found out in both cases their children fell at a splash pad and they blame some kind of substance.
2 moms say both their children have slipped and fallen at splash pads at Carmel Clay Parks, seriously getting injured. I can even feel how slick it is. One child even got a concussion.
I just remember that hollow sound when his head hit the concrete and it bounced straight off the concrete. And my child, who never says, "I'm tired," because kids are like that, came over and lay down on a bench, and I immediately knew we needed to go to the hospital to get that checked out.
2 years ago, Erica Parent's 4-year-old son was sent to the hospital and found out he had a concussion after slipping on what she calls a slippery substance at the Monon Center Water Park splash pad. They alerted the parks system about what happened and filed a tort claim, which the city denied. Fast forward 2 years later, Sarah Trossel's daughter slips and falls at the West Park splash pad, she says, on a similar-looking algae substance. Trossel, too, reported the incident to Carmel Clay Parks, but says the concrete is still slippery while kids continue to play on it, and feels not enough is being done to protect children.
I just feel like they're kind of just giving me lip service. It's like, okay, thanks for letting us know. But obviously, this is a situation that's been ongoing for 2 years, and it hasn't been addressed.
Hear the park's response coming up at 6. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
It is our mission to work for you. If you don't think you're getting the results you deserve, reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com.
New details emerging about a former Indiana abortion doctor and the thousands of fetal remains found at his Illinois home. For the first time, police in Illinois talked about the investigation. Officers say the more than 2,200 fetal remains found at the home of Dr. Ulrich Klopfer were from abortions conducted between 2000 and 2002, possibly all taking place at Indiana abortion clinics.
Dr. Klopfer performed abortions in 3 clinics in the state of Indiana. The containers of fetal remains are dated from 2000 to 2002, which coincides with the period of time he maintained the clinics in Indiana.
Will County, Illinois officials say the fetal remains will soon be in the possession of the Indiana Attorney General's office. Attorney General Curtis Hill's office will now take the lead in the investigation. Illinois authorities say it appears that the only laws that Klopfer may have violated were on disposal of fetal remains and failing to do required paperwork. Klopfer died this month.
The summer warmth continues in the mid part of September. Look at that. Another nice evening outside, no matter where you're looking. Kyle's here now with a big question tonight. When will that rain return? Sad that we have to think about the rain because it looks so gorgeous outside.
Yeah, it has been really nice, really warm as well. And a few of us will get in on the chance for a couple of showers tomorrow. Out there right now, though, we remain in this very quiet and summer-like weather pattern. Our temperature 84 in Indianapolis. We made it to 87 earlier this afternoon. That's where you sit right now in Muncie. It's 84 in Greencastle. And as we check out the view over Indianapolis, 84 our current temperature. Humidity came up a little bit today, but it is still very manageable at only 44% with that southwest breeze between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. Storm Team 6 radar still remaining quiet for us and expected to be that way through much of the next of the 24 hours. So if you're heading out there this evening, no need for that umbrella at all. We'll continue with mostly clear skies. Our temperatures dipping down into the 70s and holding there in the middle 70s through 10 o'clock. Coming up, we'll talk about those Friday spotty showers, better rain chances ahead, and the arrival of fall brings a cool down.
Both parents have now turned themselves in after being accused of leaving their adopted daughter alone in an apartment in Tippecanoe County as they moved to Canada. Christine Barnett turned herself in this morning. She and her husband, Michael Barnett, are accused of abandoning their adopted daughter, changing the girl's age, and moving out of the country while leaving her behind. Investigators in Tippecanoe County say this is the result of a 5-year investigation. Michael Barnett turned himself in yesterday. Police say the Barnetts adopted the girl from Ukraine in 2010. The girl told police that the couple rented an apartment for her in Lafayette 3 years later and never spoke to her again. Both Christine and Michael Barnett face neglect charges.
New developments. Investigators have identified the Indianapolis man whose body was found in a wooded area in Morgan County. The sheriff says 23-year-old Alexander Dashiell Jackson died of a gunshot wound. The coroner has ruled the death a homicide. A woman walking her dogs on North Man Road found Jackson's body on September 13th. That's a busy road connecting northern Morgan County and Indianapolis' southwest side. An autopsy determined Jackson had been dead for about a week before his body was found. If you have any information about Alexander Dashiell Jackson or the case, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
A large drug bust on the city's south side leads to 2 arrests. IMPD says they found fentanyl, heroin, and a large amount of cash following a drug investigation in the 2100 block of Redfern Drive. That's near Thompson Road and I-465. Detectives say they believe a 44-year-old man was dealing narcotics from the house and obtained a search warrant. When the man returned home, officers served that warrant. Officers say they arrested the man and a 35-year-old woman. We are not naming those suspects because the prosecutor's office has not officially charged them yet.
With Indianapolis roads in need of significant repair, every dollar counts. And now RTV6 has learned the city was shorted money over the last few years that could have helped fill so many potholes. When determining population for allocating road funding money, the city uses the geographical area of the fire department's coverage. Indianapolis's coverage area has expanded over the past few years as some townships' fire departments consolidated into IFD. But for some reason, that increase in area didn't translate for determining how much money Indianapolis should receive from the state for road repairs. So what does this mean for residents of Indianapolis? Well, we asked the state auditor if the city will receive a lot of more money.
Compared to the overall budget, no. But can you repair some roads with what they're going to get? Probably.
Outside of Indianapolis, other cities and towns will see an 8% decrease in their road funding. We will continue to follow this story and keep you updated on how this happened and where we go from here.
A couple rushing their dog to the veterinarian for an emergency surgery were involved in a chain reaction crash on the west side that injured 4 people, including a young child. Captain Michael Pruitt with the Wayne Township Fire Department says the crash happened just before 10 a.m. in the 6400 block of Rockville Road. Pruitt says the husband and wife were taking their dog to the vet when they were involved in the 5-vehicle crash. A child and an adult in the Mustang that rear-ended the couple were rushed to the hospital in serious condition. Medics rushed 2 other adults to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The couple with the dog were both checked and released at the scene. The dog did not survive. Relief is on the way for drivers who use US 36, also known as Rockville Road in Hendricks County. The Indiana Department of Transportation will widen US 36 from the Indianapolis City line at Raceway Road west to Shiloh Park Drive in Avon, just beyond Ronald Reagan Parkway. INDOT's plan is to add 1 lane in each direction and to eliminate the middle turn lane. Once done, vehicles would only be able to turn left at traffic lights. INDOT is expecting to finish the work in 2021. The plans will be available to the public at a meeting tonight. It begins at 6 at Bridgeport Elementary School on West Morris Street.
Still headed your way here at 5. A major gun maker suspends the production of rifles and AR-15s. The reason why and what this means for everyone. Kyle.
And finally, some needed widespread rain expected to fall across central Indiana. I'll let you know when that wet weather is set to return. You're watching RTV6 News at
5/online care.
New at 5, gunmaker Colt says it will suspend production of rifles, including the popular AR-15. Colt's chief executive officer says the company is not permanently ending production, but believes there is already an adequate supply of sporting rifles on the market. He said in a statement today the company will concentrate on fulfilling military and law enforcement contracts with its rifle manufacturing. Colt has received some criticism from gun rights advocates for moving rifle production away from the civilian market. The company says it remains committed to the Second Amendment. Gun control advocates have focused their attention on access to AR-15s and other assault-style rifles because of their use in mass shootings.
A police chase on the west side ends with medics rushing 3 people, including 2 kids, to a local hospital. The chase started near 16th Street and Tibbs Avenue around 1 this morning. That's when police learned the car was stolen out of Hendricks County. The chase ended at 10th Street and Speedway Woods Drive after the driver missed a turn and drove into a ditch. The driver of the car ran from police but was eventually caught. Medics took the younger passengers to a hospital. However, we do not know their conditions.
Tonight, lawmakers are concerned over a controversial whistleblower complaint. A new report from the Washington Post says that a whistleblower in the intelligence community was so concerned over a White House promise made to a foreign leader that they reported it to the Inspector General. Democratic lawmakers who were part of a bipartisan group that met with the Inspector General behind closed doors today are demanding to know more. ABC News' Rachel Scott reports now from Washington.
Democratic lawmakers hoping to dig into a whistleblower complaint, left with many questions but very few answers.
Someone is trying to manipulate the system to keep information about an urgent matter from the Congress.
Some lawmakers pressing to know more about that complaint that a member of the U.S. intelligence community felt so strongly about that they went to the Inspector General. The specifics still a mystery, but in a series of letters between the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and Congress, the exchanges confirm the Inspector General deemed that complaint as, quote, of urgent concern and one that might require notification to Congress. The Justice Department, though, advised otherwise. An administration official confirms to ABC News that the department's legal counsel said that that complaint did not need to be passed on to Congress in the week after it was filed, because it did not concern conduct by a member of the intelligence community. But the chairman of the House Intel Committee outraged, issuing a subpoena to the director for the information.
The Director of National Intelligence has made the unprecedented decision not to share the complaint with Congress.
Next week, in an open hearing, the acting director of National Intelligence will brief Congress. But today, behind closed doors, the Inspector General, meeting with lawmakers, did not provide any additional details. A report by the Washington Post, not confirmed by ABC News, says President Trump is at the center of the complaint.
We found out it involves the president and a conversation that he had with a foreign leader and some promise that was troubling enough and disturbing enough to make this official go and tell higher authorities.
The president taking to Twitter to deny that report, calling it all fake news. Congressman Schiff says it's unclear whether the White House was involved, but he says the impact of the Justice Department's decision stretches beyond just President Trump. At risk, he believes, the protection of all whistleblowers. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
And in Democracy 2019 coverage, Purdue University is now offering students who need updated identification cards that comply with Indiana law before the November 5th election a chance to get them for free. The Lafayette Journal and Courier paper reports the university had been under pressure recently from Purdue faculty and other student voting advocates to waive a $10 fee for the cards. The school says a fee vacation will take place October 21st through the 25th. A Purdue spokesperson says similar grace periods could be offered ahead of future elections.
Working for you with a warning tonight. Scammers are now targeting the very popular money-sharing app Venmo. Venmo allows you to send or receive money with just a few taps by connecting to your bank's account. But as part of a scam, people are receiving a text message that poses as a Venmo message. The fraudulent text directs people to a website link that says it will stop a transaction for you. And it says to stop the transaction, you need to put in your financial information. This is a scam. One computer consultant has seen the scam firsthand. He describes exactly what thieves are hoping you do and why police say it's easy to fall for.
You'll have to confirm your bank account information and your credit card information, and from there they got you.
I feel like that's a reasonable way an app would communicate with the customer, so I'm sure that this one is, people are going to fall for it.
Well, the best way to sniff out scammers is to check with the actual company that you do business with on a regular basis. Visit their actual website or call a number that you know is associated with that company.
Another false alarm in Hawaii. This time it was an errant tsunami alert. It triggered a nervous reaction around Honolulu, especially after a January 2018 incident in which people were accidentally sent a ballistic missile alert. The siren warning of a tsunami threat could be heard for miles. According to the Maui Emergency Management Agency, a single siren went off. The false alarm comes more than a year after a Hawaii Emergency Management Agency employee mistakenly pushed a missile alert, causing panic statewide.
just a very simple mistake. It's never happened before, but, obviously on the heels of the missile crisis, we need to do better.
Before the public, officials could get the word out that the sirens were just a false alarm. First responders and other state departments answered dozens of calls from concerned citizens.
A lot of events going on this weekend. People hoping for great weather. I know I'll be emceeing the Indiana AIDS Walk this Saturday along the canal, this Sunday rather, along the canal. And so a lot of people hoping it's going to stay dry for that.
Yeah, and I think a good chunk of our weekend is going to be dry because we need the rain, but that next system continues to slow down a little bit. So fingers crossed for those outdoor plans. We'll take a look at your weekend. But the dry stretch is having an impact. We now have drought conditions which have developed here in portions of Jackson County, around Seymour, and anywhere you see this orange shading up around Fowler and near Lafayette to just northwest of Peru. Abnormally dry in Kokomo and the yellow shaded areas here because, again, we have not had a whole lot of rain over the last couple of weeks. Now, we're going to try and stop that spread of the drought conditions here as we do have some rain chances coming up. Just a spotty shower chance tomorrow. A little better, though, as we go through the day on Sunday and into Sunday night. Right now, though, all is quiet, and we are going to continue with this dry stretch. Our temperature 84 in downtown and Kokomo, 86 degrees for you in Bloomington and Martinsville. Tonight, we'll slide back about 20 degrees or so. 66 will be the overnight low, keeping in mind our average lows in the middle 50s. So it's still mild, but comfortably so with partly cloudy skies. We take you hour by hour through your finally Friday forecast, and we are going to notice a couple of changes. One of those going to be a few more clouds in the forecast here, but it's still going to be warm. Our temperature 78 for the lunch hour. We'll get back into the lower and middle 80s tomorrow afternoon. About 86 in Indy, 87 in Columbus, and just a little more on the humidity front here. So it's still not going to be oppressive, but certainly noticeable. Here's a check of TrueCast for the lunch hour, and you can see the clouds we're going to have around the region as we go into the afternoon. Continues to kind of dial back on those rain chances tomorrow afternoon and evening. A spotty shower, we can't entirely rule that out, especially near and north of Interstate 70, but it does look like we'll be in pretty good shape for tomorrow evening's football games. Kickoff temperature 83 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Getting ready to head home, 75 will be the temperature Friday evening. As we take a look at your weekend here, Saturday looking pretty good, and a carbon copy of the last few days here. Mostly sunny skies, 87, slightly cooler on Sunday at 84 because we will have some scattered showers and thunderstorms, but I think they develop as we go through the afternoon and into the evening, becoming a little more widespread for Sunday night. So the timing right now is looking pretty good for your weekend plans. 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together, and we will see a few more of those showers lingering into Monday morning. That's when fall arrives, and that's also when we're going to finally break this stretch of 80-degree warmth. We'll have a high of 84 on Sunday, but 76 the high temperature on Monday. Even lows into the 50s by Tuesday morning, and should feel fairly comfortable by the middle of next week. Highs in the 70s and a few more chances for rain.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Well, 24 years ago, a judge sentenced a man to about 50 years in prison, but now that judge is closer than ever with the man that he put behind bars. How their relationship has come full circle. Next.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Hello to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV Live, and we continue bringing you gavel-to-gavel live coverage of the corn rake murder trial happening right now in Dubuque, Iowa. Defendant Todd Mollis, a hog farmer, is accused of murdering his wife, Amy Lynn, with a corn rake. She was impaled by the farming tool on the couple's hog farm. Both the state and the defense in this case agree that Amy Mollis was certainly murdered. The state says that Todd had a motive of money, that he didn't want to lose the farm that he worked for years and years if the couple got a divorce. It seems a lot of people knew about the problems in the couple's marriage, especially Amy's infidelity, twice having an affair. Could someone else have killed Amy Mollis, though? The defense certainly says so. There are stories of adultery, affairs, and perhaps even a love triangle going on at the time she was killed. The state is likely to rest its case in chief today, but not before more. They call more witnesses who investigated the crime scene and the Google searches made on the defendant's iPad. But were all those searches made by him? We expect the defense to call a few witnesses as well to the stand and to present a case. We'll be there for all of it. You can count on Court TV for gavel-to-gavel live coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Julie, thank you. And you can stream Court TV and get all of the big cases happening across the country anytime you want at courttv.com. It's a story that has come full circle.
In 1995, a judge sentenced a man to nearly 50 years in prison after fleeing police in Milwaukee and crashing into a bus stop, killing 4 people. 24 years later, Ramiah Whiteside got parole, and one of his first acts as a free man was to head over to court to ask the judge who sentenced him that prison term to officiate his wedding.
Whiteside and Judge David Hatcher kept in touch through the years, even after the sentencing. The judge was told about Whiteside's progress shortly after the two began writing one another. Eventually, Hatcher would have pushed for Whiteside's parole, even after giving him the maximum 47-year sentence Wednesday. Whiteside married his fiancée, Carla.
It was kind of spontaneous, but I planned on doing it because for me, that's full circle.
Whiteside said while it's impossible to reverse what happened, he plans to dedicate the rest of his life to positively impacting others' lives.
What a
Full
story.
circle there, right? Ahead at 6 p.m. here on RTV6, it's the worst feeling when your computer freezes and you have no idea how to fix it. But some local students are figuring out the solutions for all your computer woes through their own IT program.
But first on the Now, Indy, money is major reason why some students drop out of college. The new initiative from the city of Indianapolis to help struggling college students stay in school. You're watching RTV6.
Drive.